How much comfort are you sacrificing for your future self? Chances are, if you're a young dumbass like I was, you're not sacrificing that much comfort. We as men, if you didn't know, grow from discomfort. We used to go out there and conquer land and kill other men. Now we're all just glued to our computers and phones like zombies. And you wonder why your testosterone levels are low. Now someone's gonna say, oh, but testosterone levels decreased from generation to generation naturally. Thing is, that might be true, but we're doing all we can to keep it as low as possible. Tell me, does the majority of men in the world do testosterone provoking activities? No, they're not. Most men these days are overweight, which not only keep your testosterone levels low, but also increases your female hormone, which is estrogen. Most men in the world eat junk food and eat low quality foods, which keeps their testosterone levels low. Most men aren't growing physically or mentally. They're comfortable where they're at, so they settle. They settle for mediocre. I mean, if you want to be mediocre, that's up to you. But I don't want to be in my deathbed regretting all the things I didn't do because I was too comfortable. Let's put it this way, you can't achieve anything great without sacrificing some comfort from your younger self so that you can be great as your future self. Don't you want to be proud of what your younger self sacrificed so that your future self can enjoy the rewards of it? Now, I'm super motivated by the fact that my future self can look back at my younger self and smile because I sacrificed all that comfort to delay gratification. Aren't you motivated by that? Just think about it. Every bad thing that you do, you're screwing up your future self. Your future self will have to deal with all the problems just because of the choices that your younger self made. This goes for everything from doing your laundry to eating junk food and gaining the extra kg. These are all just problems for your future self to deal with. So why not flip the script now and do the hard work now, so that your future self don't have to suffer. And I know this is hard, especially when your skill of willpower is at still a low level. It's so easy to indulge in easy pleasures and laziness because it's right in front of you. I know mine isn't so great either. From time to time, I indulge in easy pleasures as well, but it's not doing it for the majority of time that counts. If you're in a similar situation, don't beat yourself up if you trip up once or twice. Remember, we're trying to make this a lifelong thing, not some challenge for YouTube. If you're a young dumbass, it's so easy to fall into the trap of instant gratification because your friends do the same shit as well. Your friends play video games, eat junk food, and do drugs. So you partake in all those activities as well because it seems so fun in the short term. What you need to do is take a step back and realize all the harm that you're doing to yourself over the long term. How it literally fries your dopamine receptors, how it makes you lose focus and concentration, and how out of shape you get after doing all those activities for some time. Then cut off the people that you're doing those bad habits with. I know this is especially hard because these are the friends that you pretty much grew up with, but that's what you need to do. That's what you need to do and almost go into the lone wolf mentality because you're doing something that the majority of people aren't doing. I know the lone wolf mentality gets a lot of shit, but when you're trying to do something the majority isn't, that's how you should approach it. In every activity that you indulge in, you need to think twice. Is my future self going to be thankful for what I'm about to do? And the thing is that you're going to recruit your own people that are on self-improvement, just like you, who went through the same things that you went through. You won't be the lone wolf anymore. You'll be riding around in a pack of wolves. How good is that? But for that short period of time, you need to have that lone wolf mindset when it comes to your daily habits. And when I say recruit, I mean that you're automatically going to surround yourself with like-minded people. But recruiting also means that you build an audience by documenting your journey through the trials and tribulations that you're going through, and also by documenting your journey through the new habits that you're going to implement. So what are some of the good habits that you can start to implement today that your future self will be thankful for? The best and the most rewarding one for a young man would be exercise. I'm 22 years old and I can proudly say that starting to lift weights was the single most best thing I've done in my life. And I've been doing it consistently for 6 years. But it's not easy, otherwise every man will be walking around jacked with a six-pack. The idea is to make the work feel like play to you. If you do this, your chances of sticking to this habit will increase significantly. So how exactly do you do this? Well, you do it first by establishing the muscles you want to work out. If you're into self-improvement, you most likely want an aesthetic body as well. To get this, we need to focus on a specific set of muscle groups over the other ones. These are your back, shoulders, triceps, and upper chest. This is going to give you that V-taper and the upside down Dorito look that looks most attractive on a man. Now, I'm not telling you to not focus on other muscle groups because they're important as well, but I'm telling you to prioritize these muscle groups over the other ones. So how exactly do we make this work feel like play to you? What you're going to do is you're going to pick out your favorite exercises to do from all the exercises there are to work these muscle groups. So for example, if you're going to be training chest, you'd have two options. You'd have the option of flat bench press or a dumbbell bench press. So you have to choose your favorite and pretty much stick to it for the long run. Then the next step is to turn it into a game. This will work better if you have a training partner, but if you don't, it's fine as well. What I mean by this is set small goals for that session and see if you achieve them or not. See how you go and adjust them for the next session accordingly. So if it was too intense for you, you can dial it back down and do the opposite if it was too easy for you to hit as well. These goals need to be in the sense of progressive overload. So say if you can hit a certain amount of reps with a certain amount of weight, or if you can move up in weight with a certain exercise as well, or if you can increase the time under tension that you keep yourself under when doing an exercise, or pretty much if you can shorten the rest time that you take in between your sets as well. The next thing that you need to do for all this to work in your favor is to listen to a playlist of songs that you have curated yourself. Not some top 100 Spotify playlists, but do some digging and find some good music and curate a playlist full of songs. Congratulations, now you've created a perfect system for yourself for you to enjoy lifting weights and make it seem like not such a big task. From now on, you'll be doing your favorite exercises, gamifying it, and listening to your favorite songs while doing it. What more could you ask for? Now think 6 months into doing this routine that you've been doing, and of course your future self is going to look back at your younger self with a smile. It's the same thing with nutrition, bro. I'm telling you that you don't need to go in the traditional route of eating chicken breast, rice, and broccoli for every meal. You still need to eat whole unprocessed foods, but you don't need to limit yourself like that. There's an abundance of recipes online that are macro friendly and are also utilizing whole unprocessed foods as well. Delve deep into these recipes and find out what you like and stick to them in the long term. There's a bunch of recipes on TikTok that show you high protein, low calorie meals that you can make within minutes. The main thing when it comes to fitness is longevity, so make sure you find meals that you can stick to over a long period of time. Your future self will be grateful for all the research that you've done to find out what works best for you. If you want to be gaining muscle, the only two things that you need to be focusing on is eating at a caloric surplus and eating enough protein. Enough protein is around 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight, which will give you enough protein to build muscle. These nutrition tips coupled with the training tips that I gave you in this video, you'll literally be unstoppable if you implement these. Fitness is generally hard for someone to stick to in the long term. It's one of those things that the earlier you start, the better off you will be, because those habits get ingrained in you from a young age, so it's easier to stick to as you get older. That's why this video is specifically aimed at young men on self-improvement. And I've given you the simplest ways that you can stick to it in the long term. Even if you're someone older watching this, you don't need to be discouraged because there's no such thing as can't in this world. Everyone starts somewhere, and let this be a sign for you to change your life around so that your future self will look back at you with some pride and not with some regret. If you really want to change your life around, you will do whatever it takes, and this is whatever it takes right here, so don't sleep on it.